Hi, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Gates Weekly Recap. I'm your host, Tim Shirer, and we will be reviewing the week that was in Fairmount Crest. Beyond the Gates, CBS's soap opera, newest soap opera that premiered in February and has quickly become the best soap opera on television. It follows the Dupree family of Fairmount Crest in just outside Washington, D.C. There is, there's a lot going on this week. Dani and Andre were scheduled to go to Los Angeles to participate in a photo shoot for Forrester Creations. Forrester Creations is a company on another CBS soap, The Bold and the Beautiful. But at the last second, Dani canceled it, realizing that Andre didn't want to do it. His heart wasn't in it. He was just doing it for Dani. So she canceled the trip, and now they're planning their honeymoon. I believe they're in Los Angeles, or they're on their way there. So they're going to have their honeymoon in Los Angeles. The farther Andre is away from the whiny Ashley, who can't make up her mind, and it's always somebody else's fault, the better. I think Ashley better realize that Dani will chew her up and spit her out if she comes after Andre. If Ashley attempts to get Andre back, she never really had him though, but if she tries to go after him, the claws will come out. We saw what Dani did, when Bill left her for Haley. I mean, she almost killed them. She shot up their wedding. So Ashley better just realize that, let's move on to somebody else. Derek seems to have moved on. He knows that he lied to Ashley. He kept a secret from her. I don't think he so much lied to her. I think they made this much worse than it is. But I think that, he was keeping it from her because he feared exactly what happened, that she really wasn't in it because she loved Derek. She was in it because she felt bad for him. He was paralyzed. So she felt bad for him. She felt guilty. She felt guilty that she, caused Derek to do crazy things because she broke up with him. So, Ashley, she's just as much of a liar as Derek. But of course, Ashley's always the victim. She's been the victim since the first day of the show. Of course, if I haven't made it clear here, I do not like Ashley. Ashley's a whiny character that I could do without. As I've said many times throughout the show, and unfortunately it happened to the character Doug, but I really wouldn't have a problem with Ashley on the show accidentally driving her car off a cliff. Because she's just annoying. I don't like her. But, so Derek seemed to move on with a fellow firefighter. She works at the station where he worked until he was paralyzed. I'm sure he's still, a member of the department. He'll get he's going to be walking soon again, so he'll go back to being a firefighter. And then, Naomi, Jacob, and Bill and Haley had dinner, which of course is always going to be awkward. But the topic of Ashley and Derek came up. And of course, Naomi, who ever since she found out she was pregnant and then she wasn't pregnant, she's been a different person. She's been much more harsh on others. And, she accused Haley of, because Haley said, Ashley left Derek quickly. And Naomi accused Haley. She's like, would you do the same thing to my dad? And, and then Derek, Jacob did not defend Derek, but he said, he could sympathize with Derek. And, I'm sorry, Naomi went off on him for that. Jacob can't win for losing lately. Because Naomi's been all over him. Look, I guess this does happen in marriages where you agree that you want to have kids or you don't want to have kids, and then you end up thinking differently about it later. And that's the problem with Naomi and Jacob at this point. But the fact that Naomi basically said to Jacob, you better not be siding with Derek. It's kind of overboard. Like, give me a break. He's his friend, Nicole, she talked with Martin about that Martin probably should try to work things out with Kat because, he got into it with his sister. Because Martin's daughter, Samantha, overheard Kat talking about her relationship and, then almost got into trouble with a boy. And Martin was pretty mad about this, and he holds it against Kat. But you know what? Kat is such a witch that, I'm Andre. I'm not apologizing to her. She's a witch. Maybe Kat should apologize to somebody for once in her life. She is a rotten person. She is a snob. Poor little rich girl. Oh, it's always somebody else's fault. I've never done anything wrong in my life. Oh, she makes me sick. She makes me absolutely sick. I can't stand Kat. I wish she'd just go away. But so then we have, Anita continuing to plan Winterfest. And now it looks as though Nicole convinced Anita to include Leslie so she could, because Leslie will come and ruin things anyway. So, Nicole is probably right. So it's probably better off having her involved and let her plan some maybe insignificant thing. But honestly, Leslie's more of a character I enjoy than Nicole, because Nicole's a snob too. It's not surprising that Kat is Nicole's daughter. They're both snobs. But Anita called Leslie at the end to tell her that she could help with Winterfest. But the odd thing going on is Vernon meeting with Sharon, one of the articulates played by Bonita Brisker. I think they're trying to make it like Vernon's having an affair. I'm seeing right through that. I think the articulates, it's going to be an articulates reunion at the Winterfest, and he's surprising. He's getting it all set up with Sharon, and that's what's happening right now. It's not. It has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with Vernon's not having an affair with Sharon. They're putting things in place, making it look like they're no. They would be idiots if they had Vernon having an affair with Sharon. That would destroy the whole foundation of the show. It really would. My actual glasses reflecting very oddly in the light. But yeah, that would be a big mistake if they did that. I don't think that, no, let's just say, no, it's not even, I don't think. Martin is not having an affair with Sharon. He's just not. That would destroy the whole foundation of this show. It really would destroy the whole foundation of the show. That would be like Tom Horton cheating on, God, what was his wife's name on Days of Our Lives? I can't remember. Was it Frances? No, that's Frances Reed was her name. I can't remember, but that kind of thing. It's not going to happen. Eva seems to be open to possibly having a relationship with Izaiah Hawthorne, son of Elon, brother of Jacob. I sound like I'm on Bold and the Beautiful. I've got to let everybody know what's going on with these people and recap it 47 times like they do on Bold and the Beautiful. But she seems to be open to that, and Izaiah seems to like her too. I think they'd be a dynamic couple, those two. I do. But it seems like Haley has some interest also. The con woman Haley, she's poisoning Bill. Poisoned him a couple times this week. So I think that, something's going on there. When Haley mentioned that, Naomi seemed to say something because Naomi said Izaiah might move on with Eva, and Haley was like, "Oh no, not yet. Nope." Like, what? Who are you? So I think that something's going on there. I'm just wondering if this is my thought, because for all these months, it didn't seem like the character of Haley, she's an opportunist, obviously. Oh, Jen Jacobs is now showing up on my AI again. And that's something. I must not have talked bad enough about the character of Ashley, and they put her back. But no, what's her name? I can't remember her name. They're not showing her on here now. Haley. Is it Joanna Goings? No, that was Joanna Goings from Search for Tomorrow. Let's see. Let's see if we could get it. I want to get it right. I feel bad that I Margarita Goings. I knew it was something like that. I wonder if she's leaving. I wonder if she's leaving Beyond the Gates. I think she is. That's my feeling that she's leaving. I have a feeling that she is. I have a feeling that Marguerite Goings is leaving the show, and they may bring her back another character with another actress. She could easily go to that house in St. Bart's that her and Bill purchased. But I just wonder if she's leaving. Remember, the show will be a year old in February. So, I could see her departing the show. Actors and actresses leave for different reasons. And I feel like they're going to write Haley off, at least temporarily. And she's going to try to kill Bill. Well, she's already started. She's already started poisoning Bill. So, we'll see what happens there. Bill has become a much more likable character than originally when the show debuted. So, Bill Hamilton, played by Timothy Kyle Durrett. Oh, Timon Kyle Durrett. Timon, not Timothy, Timon. He does a good job as Bill. I guess he's the Joker on the set too. I guess he's the jokester. So, but they're not killing Bill off. They're not killing Bill off. So something's going to happen. But like I said, Naomi and Jacob still having trouble. It was interesting today that Vanessa saw a friend of hers, it's an acquaintance of hers and Doug's at the casino, and he was gambling, and he wanted Vanessa to lie to his wife and say he wasn't there. He's supposed to be bowling. And, she said, no. And she convinced him to leave. And, of course, Joey was a little upset about that because that's money out of Joey's pocket. The guy keeps losing. The guy had gotten a loan, and that's when Dani saw the red flag, or Vanessa saw the red flag, because she thought it would happen to, Doug. Doug spiraled, and Dani, she wants to save this guy, save his family the pain that it caused when Doug was murdered by Joey. Let's get that out of the way right now. Joey murdered Doug. And all of these, there's a lot of things hidden here. In the first 9 months of this show, it's close to 9 months now. Around the November 14th, so about 10 more days, it'll be 9 months. There's a lot of things being hidden. Martin's secret's still hidden. That he killed the racist. The cover-up by almost everybody on the show with that incident. Joey killed Doug, had Doug killed. The fact Cat broke into Ava's hotel room. The fact that Leslie ran Nicole's assistant off the road so Ava could get a job there. These are all secrets that are still out there. They have not been resolved yet. So it's going to be interesting to find out how some of these secrets get resolved, or how long are they going to go? They could go the whole show, maybe. They could go for years. I mean, hopefully this show's on in 20 years. Who knows? Some of these secrets might be still being, covered up, and then there'll be new secrets. So, Fairmount Crest, it's a great place. It's a fun place to visit every day at 2:00 on, if you're local like I am, CBS Cleveland 19. It's really, it's a really good soap. If you haven't watched it, I suggest that you do watch it. I think you would enjoy it very, very much. It was, it came out in the winter, and it's good. And the thing about it is that a soap opera has to carry through the summer. If a soap opera can get you through the summer, if a soap opera can get you through the summer, and you're still interested, then it's done its job. And Beyond the Gates did that for me. It kept me interested. And I don't just watch it because I do this show. I watch it because I enjoy it every day too. I was pissed on Monday when I saw it was preempted again. I think it's been preempted actually, I think it's been preempted 16 times since it premiered in February. That is way too many times. Way too many times. 4th of July week, Labor Day week. Gosh, it was another week too. It made no sense though. Why this show is being preempted. So it's kept me interested. It's got to be pretty good to keep me interested because I wanted to be a soap opera writer myself. So I wasn't going to just be like, I'll just watch anything. It's got to keep my interest, and it has. So that's it's been really good. The storylines are good. They've developed these characters more and more. They continue to develop the characters, and they add some other characters like that could possibly exist at some point. Like even this guy that Vanessa was talking to today that was friends with her and Doug. She mentioned his wife, that she owned a horse stable. Maybe at some point the horse stable will come into play. Or the horse farm, I guess, will come into play. The stalls of a horse farm on a soap opera have been used since the beginning of soap opera time. There's always mischief going on there. So I could see that happening at some point. They're really developing these characters really well. So what we got now is we've got to the point of the show. I didn't say it earlier, but I'll mention it now. We are going to do, we're going to reach into the vault, the soap opera vault, and we're going to talk about a show that premiered on television. Some cities it was on during the day. Some stations around the country it was on at night. It premiered 41 years ago this past September, on September 10th, 1984. It premiered on it was a syndicated show, and it was called Rituals. I liked it very much. It was on locally in Cleveland, on our local Fox 8 affiliate, and we didn't get to watch the whole run here in Cleveland. They took it off after, I believe, 13 weeks, which was very disappointing to me because I really liked the show. But what we're going to do here now, we're going to talk about the show for a minute. And what we're going to do is we're going to play the opening and closing theme song while we're talking about the show. So here we go. The show premiered September 10th, 1984. It was syndicated. It had 260 episodes. So that is exactly 52 weeks it ran. It ran from September 10th, 1984 to September 6th, 1985. And then it was canceled. It was distributed by Laura Martella Pictures. So that was a very, prestigious production company at the time. And so the show was developed by the theme song in the background there. It was developed by Gene Colombo, Clifford Champion, Joyce Corrington, and John William Corrington, who destroyed Santa Barbara. Okay, well I'm not going to go any further there. I guess it was based on a novel by Charlene Keel. It was about a boarding school in a fictional town of Virginia called Wingfield. And the Chapins were the main family. Uh, they owned uh, they owned the town basically, and that pretty much was the basis of the show. Of course, there were some evil characters. There were some characters that were likable. Who they were just boring. You know what I mean? There were too many boring characters. I remember the character of Tom. He was a good guy. He eventually got killed off, of course. Um, but he was boring. And I thought that they could have done better with the character, and but they didn't. The character was Tom. Let's see, Tom Gallagher. The Gallaghers were the poor working class family. Eddie, the father, was a drunk. Well, he was a jerk. He got murdered in self-defense by his daughter, Noelle, because he had physically and sexually abused her. Tom Gallagher was the good guy. He got killed radiation poisoning at the power plant where he was a security guard. Mike Gallagher was the brother of Eddie, who was played by Greg Mullavey. He was a good guy too, and he was the husband of Lacey Jarrett, an artist and a teacher at Haddon Hall. Deandra Santiago Gallagher, she was the wife of Tom Gallagher, and she came from a political family. They came from the country of San Rafael. Lacey Jarrett Gallagher, of course, we mentioned her. She was played by Felice Sampler. Sarah Gallagher, she was the tortured wife of Eddie. They ran the bar, and Noelle, she was the daughter. There were some good characters, like I said. I have to say, the Robertson family was played. They had some good actors and actresses playing these characters. Monty Markham was Carter Robertson Chapin. He was a headmaster of Haddon Hall. Wow, he was not a nice guy. And Christine Jones played Christina Robertson Chapin. Boy, she was a witch. She was a real witch. Patrick Chapin, he was the head of the Chapin family. He died of a heart attack very early on. I thought it was in the first episode. But maybe not, though. No, he wasn't killed in the first episode. But then Brady Chapin. This is how we got the Beyond the Gates connection here. John Lindstrom, his first soap opera role. He replaced Mark Popple in the role. And Joanne Flug was in it, and Tina Louise was in it. Peter Haskell was in it. President Reagan's daughter was in it. It was a good show, President Reagan's daughter, Marissa Mallory, she played the character for a short time in 1984. But that's our look back at an old soap opera today. That was Rituals from 1984 to 85, syndicated. But that looks like that's the end of our show for today. We've gone nearly 30 minutes. We'll see you next week and on November 21st for our Friday at 3 o'clock show, reviewing Beyond the Gates. But until then, till we meet again here, until then, maybe I'll see you somewhere around Fairmount Crest.